Imagine this. It's 3:47 a.m. Your laptop screen glows in the dark, casting long shadows across your face. The deadline is in 6 hours. You've known about it for weeks. You swore this time would be different. Yet here you are, staring at a half-finished project, your stomach tight with dread, your mind racing through a loop of self-recrimination. Why didn't I start sooner? You've been here before. The all-nighter, the frantic caffeine-fueled scramble, the hollow promise to never do this again. And yet, like a sleepwalker drawn to a cliff's edge, you keep returning to this moment. Here's the unsettling truth. You didn't procrastinate because you're lazy. You procrastinated because, in some twisted way, it worked for you. Think about it. Every time you've waited until the last minute, you've survived. The paper got written, the presentation got done, the crisis was averted. Your brain, that cunning survival machine, has learned a dangerous lesson. See, panic is a perfectly good strategy. But at what cost? The missed opportunities, the chronic stress, the gnawing guilt that follows you like a shadow. You're not just putting off tasks, you're putting off life. And the worst part, you know this, you see the pattern. Yet when the next deadline looms, you'll likely do it all over again. Why? Because procrastination isn't a time management problem, it's an identity problem. The paradox of self-sabotage. Consider this contradiction. You want to succeed. You know what success requires. Yet you avoid doing those very things. It makes no logical sense, unless the part of you that procrastinates isn't trying to fail. It's trying to protect you. From what? From the terrifying possibility that if you really tried, if you gave your full effort, you might still come up short. That the rejection, the criticism, the proof of your limitations would be undeniable. So your subconscious makes a deal. Better to fail on purpose than to fail by accident. This is why motivational speeches and productivity hacks fail. They treat procrastination as if it's rational, but it's not. It's emotional. It is the silent rebellion of a deeper self that would rather control its own failure than risk an unpredictable world. The ghost in the machine. Ask yourself, when you procrastinate, who exactly is putting things off? The you that wants to get things done, or some other version of you? Carl Jung called this the shadow, the part of ourselves we disown, the impulses we deny. Procrastination is its language. It's the shadow whispering, you don't actually want this, not enough to risk what it would take. And here's the cruel twist. The more you fight procrastination with guilt and force, the stronger the shadow grows. Because now it's not just about the task, it's about who you are. Every unfinished to-do list becomes proof of your inadequacy. Every delay is a referendum on your worth. The weight grows heavier, the avoidance becomes more desperate. The fork in the road. This is where most advice fails. They tell you to just start, but how, when every fiber of your being resists starting? There's a deeper question here, one we've been circling around. What if procrastination isn't your enemy? What if it's a signal, a desperate message from a part of you that's been ignored? What's it trying to tell you? That you're pursuing goals that don't align with your deeper values, that you're terrified of what success or failure might reveal about you, that you've been trying to live someone else's life. The answer is different for everyone. But one thing is certain, until you listen to why you procrastinate, no productivity hack will ever stick. The ancient paradox of human motivation. Beneath every act of procrastination lies a fundamental tension in human psychology, one that philosophers and psychologists have grappled with for centuries. We are torn between our desire for comfort and our longing for meaning. The French existentialist Jean-Paul Sartre saw this clearly when he wrote, "Man is condemned to be free because once thrown into the world, he is responsible for everything he does." This is the crux of our struggle. Freedom terrifies us. The blank page, the empty canvas, the unwritten future, they all whisper the same haunting question: what if you choose wrong? The neuroscience of avoidance. Modern brain science reveals why procrastination feels so viscerally compelling. The limbic system. Hijack your brain's ancient survival circuits, prioritize immediate pleasure over long-term rewards. When faced with a difficult task, your amygdala screams, "This feels threatening, avoid it." The prefrontal cortex standoff. Your rational, planning brain knows the deadline matters. But in the battle between emotion and reason, emotion often wins, especially when you're tired, stressed, or uncertain. The dopamine trap. Quick distractions, social media, snacks, cleaning, provide instant dopamine hits. Important but unexciting tasks, they're dopamine desserts. Your brain, like a spoiled child, chooses candy over vegetables every time. The existential roots. Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, observed something profound about human nature. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. Procrastination collapses that space. It's not just putting off work, it's putting off being. When we procrastinate, we're avoiding the vulnerability of creation. What if my work isn't good enough? The responsibility of choice. What if I commit to the wrong path? The mortality reminder. If I finish this project, what next? The modern amplifiers. Our digital age has turned this ancient struggle into a crisis. The illusion of productivity. Endless productivity porn, apps, hacks, systems, lets us feel productive while avoiding real work. The comparison trap. Social media shows us others' finished products, never their struggles. We internalize, if it's not perfect immediately, why start? The attention economy tech companies spend billions to make distraction effortless and focus difficult. You're not weak, you're outgunned. The core realization: procrastination isn't a personal failing. It's the inevitable result of a brain evolved for immediate survival, not long-term projects. A culture that worships results but hides the process. A psyche terrified of its own freedom. The question isn't, why can't I just do it? But rather, what would it take for me to stop running from my own potential? The slow bleed of unlived potential. You don't notice it at first. A missed deadline here, a half-finished project there. But beneath these surface failures, something far more insidious is taking root. The erosion of your relationship with your future self. Every time you procrastinate, you send a subconscious message. Future me will handle this. But that future self isn't some magical, more capable version of you. It's just you, with less time and more panic. The psychological toll compounds. The broken trust. Each broken promise to yourself deepens the belief that you can't rely on you. This isn't just about tasks, it's about identity. The shrinking world, avoided challenges mean fewer growth opportunities. Like a muscle that atrophies from disuse, your courage and capability diminish. The cognitive load. Unfinished tasks don't disappear. They linger as open loops, consuming mental bandwidth. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. Your brain can't fully rest while tasks remain incomplete. The neurological debt: chronic procrastination physically rewires your brain. The stress spiral. Last-minute rushes flood your system with cortisol and adrenaline. Over time, this creates a perverse addiction. Your brain learns to need crisis mode to function. The reward system corruption. When you consistently choose immediate gratification over meaningful work, you train your brain to devalue long-term rewards. This is why procrastination spreads like a virus, from work tasks to health habits to relationships. The memory warping studies show procrastinators develop skewed memories of past experiences, remembering the relief of finishing more than the pain of rushing. This creates a dangerous illusion. It wasn't that bad last time. The existential consequences. Procrastination isn't just stealing your time, it's stealing your life's shape. Consider the projects never started. That book, business, or degree you keep waiting for the right time to begin. The right time is a myth. The relationships, undernourished friendships fade, romantic connections wither, and family ties strain under the weight of "I'll reach out soon," the self that never emerges. Every avoided challenge was a chance to discover who you could become. Without those moments of friction, you remain a sketch instead of a masterpiece. The cultural cost. This isn't just personal, it's generational. We're raising children who expect instant results thanks to digital immediacy, fear imperfect first drafts thanks to social media perfection, have never practiced sustained focus thanks to notification culture. The result? A world full of unrealized genius, buried under mountains of distraction and self-doubt. The turning point. But here's the secret hidden in these consequences. Your procrastination knows exactly what matters most to you. That project you keep avoiding, it probably matters deeply. That difficult conversation you're postponing, it likely holds the key to growth. Your avoidance isn't random. It's a map to where you most need to go. The question becomes, will you keep using busy work as anesthesia, or will you face what your soul has been trying to tell you? The myth of willpower. For decades, we've been sold a lie that procrastination is a failure of discipline, that if you just tried harder, cared more, or were simply better, you wouldn't struggle. But consider this. You've never actually chosen to procrastinate. Every time you've put something off, it wasn't a conscious decision. It was an automatic reaction to discomfort. This means the solution isn't more self-control, but better emotional engineering. Strategy 1. The 10-minute coup. Your brain resists big commitments but can tolerate short ones. Use this. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Work on the avoided task just until the bell rings. Then give yourself permission to stop. Here's the psychological magic. Starting is the only hard part. Once in motion, you'll often continue. But even if you don't, you've broken the avoidance pattern. Strategy 2. Make it ugly. Perfectionism fuels procrastination. Counter it by intentionally creating bad first drafts. Write the worst possible opening paragraph. Sketch a deliberately messy prototype. Record a rambling voice note instead of a polished presentation. This disarms the fear of failure by making it the goal. Strategy 3. Future self-journaling. Procrastination thrives on the illusion that your future self is a stranger. Bridge that gap. Each morning, write a letter from your future self, 1 year from now. Have them thank you for specific actions you took today. Describe how those choices changed their life. This creates emotional connection with delayed rewards. Strategy 4. The 5-second rule. When you notice procrastination impulses, count backward 5 to 4, 3, 2, 1. Physically move toward the task on 1. This interrupts automatic avoidance patterns before they take hold. Strategy 5. Schedule procrastination. Paradoxically, planning to avoid work reduces actual avoidance. Block guilt-free procrastination time in your calendar. When urges hit outside this time, note them for later. Often, the urge passes before the scheduled slot arrives. The deeper shift. These tactics work because they address the root causes, reframing resistance. It's not laziness, it's emotional protection. Reducing friction, making starts easier than avoidance. Creating psychological safety, permission to be imperfect. The rebellion isn't a T against procrastination. It's S against the belief that you should be able to power through discomfort. True productivity comes from working with your psychology, not against it. The illusion of later. All procrastination rests on one fundamental misunderstanding. There is no such thing as later. Every later you've ever counted on has arrived as now. Every future moment you've depended on has shown up as the present you were trying to avoid. The ancient Greeks had two concepts of time: chronos, clock time; linear; kairos, the right moment, qualitative. We keep waiting for kairos, the perfect conditions, while life passes in chronos. The identity shift. Procrastination isn't about managing time. It's about negotiating identity. When you avoid a task, you're not resisting the work. You're resisting who you need to become to do it. The thesis isn't hard. Being a scholar is. The workout isn't hard. Being an athlete is. The conversation isn't hard. Being an honest partner is. This is why just start advice fails. You can act your way into a new identity. You must become the person for whom the action is natural. The existential algebra. Consider this equation. Your life, the sum of what you've paid attention to, every scroll through social media, every avoided challenge, every "I'll do it tomorrow." These aren't just moments lost. They're bricks in the construction of your identity. Procrastination isn't stealing your time. It's stealing who you could have become. The final realization. Here's the secret hidden in plain sight. You don't procrastinate because you're avoiding work. You procrastinate because part of you knows your current approach is misaligned with your deepest values. The solution isn't more discipline, it's deeper integrity. Ask yourself, what would the version of me who handles this easily do differently? How can I make this task an expression of my values rather than an obstacle? Who do I need to become to make this effortless? The eternal now. In the end, all strategies point to one truth. There is only this moment, not the idealized future, not the regretful past. Just this breath, this decision, this action. When you stop waiting for motivation and simply move, when you stop negotiating with avoidance and simply begin, you discover something revolutionary. The resistance was never about the task. It was about your relationship with time itself. And in that realization, you're finally free.